They say there isn't one India, but many. A land where ancient temples meet modern skylines, where the scent of spices lingers in the air, and where every sunrise tells a new story. Join me as we uncover 22 unforgettable experiences, the essence of incredible India. From the misty mountains of the north to the sun-drenched sands of the south, every corner of India holds something magical. Whether you're a seeker, a wanderer, or a storyteller, this journey will stay with you forever. So let's the story begin.
At dawn, Varanasi breathes in rhythms older than most nations. The river becomes a stage. Sadhus chant. Women perform morning rituals. Lamps float like tiny constellations. Take a quiet boat as the city wakes. You'll feel time folding in on itself. If sunrise and ritual stir something in you, you'll soon want to see how love was carved into stone. The Taj is not only marble, it's a promise. At Mehta Bagh as dawn paints the dome, you'll understand why generations have whispered about its beauty. Every angle reveals a different color, every shadow a different story. And while the Taj is timeless, India also shelters ancient temples that tell a very different kind of story, of devotion, desire, and art. In Khajuraho, stone becomes conversation. The walls speak of gods, lovers, and everyday life. Sometimes cheeky, always human. Walk slowly. The carvings are three-dimensional stories that challenge what we think of sacred art, from carved passions to tangled waterways. If you want to meet wildlife that prefers shadow and water over marble, head east into a tangled green maze. Here, the forest breathes salt. The Sundarbans is a world of roots and quiet danger, where tigers move like ghosts between channels and fishermen know every tidal mood. It's raw, fragile, and unforgettable. And when you crave dry, open skies and endless sand instead of green channels, Rajasthan's deserts call you under the stars. In the Thar, the horizon seems to stretch forever. Camel legs whisper across sand, and nightfall gives you a sky free of lights. The stars are 1,000 little campfires watching you sleep. After those quiet dunes, the city lights of gold and devotion await. A different kind of glow that draws the faithful at dawn. At 4 a.m., the golden temple hums with chanting. The saffron robes, the mirrored water, and the ceaseless langar that feeds thousands. A lesson in hospitality and humility. If communal spirit moved you here, travel south to waters that move people differently. Slow houseboats where life floats past your window. Kettuvallam houseboats slip along lanes of coconut palms. Mornings are for fishing, afternoons for tea. Time here is measured in birdsong and ripples. From calm waterways to high-altitude silence. If you want monasteries perched against the sky, head north to the cold lands of Ladakh. Thin air, bright prayer flags, and monasteries that seem to sprout from the rock. Ladakh slows your breath and sharpens your sight. The landscape itself becomes spiritual. If those high deserts make you crave color and craft, there's a village where art is lived and taught, a small world painted by its people. In Raghurajpur, paint meets devotion. Artists work in courtyards. Their hands translate myth into pigment. It's small, intimate, and every stall feels like an open studio. If intimate craft inspires you, imagine ruins that once housed an empire, a place where stone markets still whisper of kings and poets. Hampi's boulders and broken pillars feel almost theatrical, like a stage where centuries of commerce, war, and faith played out. Cycle between temples, lose yourself among the ruins, and listen for echoes of the past. If ruins spark your curiosity for coastal calm and hidden nature, a different coastline with sun and spice awaits. Goa beyond the parties. Think of Goa as a layered postcard. Beaches, yes, but also spice plantations, mangroves, and sleepy villages. Dawn cruises and waterfalls make this more than a sun and party story. If coastal contrasts intrigue you, picture salt turned to snow-white fields, a place where the earth itself shimmers. The White Rann is a mirror turned inside out. In winter, it glows like a field of salt glass. Under the moon, it becomes a lunar playground. And at festival time, music and craft flood the plain. From white plains to sculpted stone. Head southeast to temples whose towers still pierce the sky with stories of gods and kings. The Chola temples are lessons in scale and devotion. Towering vimanas and meticulous carvings were made to awe and to last. And they have. Walk slowly. Each column has a story. If monumental architecture feeds your soul, imagine entire towns of merchant palaces, homes that look like small courts of their own. Chettinadu's mansions smell faintly of teak and spices. Rooms hold chandeliers from Europe and tiles from Spain. A global thrift store of wealth from centuries of trade. If lavish homes make you think of kingdoms and wildlife alike, get ready. Some of India's best wildlife waits in dense forests a few regions over. On a jeep track at dawn, you might see a tiger's shoulder disappear into a thicket, or an elephant crest a ridge. India's parks are raw theatre, loud, smelly, and heartbreakingly beautiful. If wildlife made your pulse quick, imagine trading rustle and roar for mist and a silver cup of tea. Mountain air and tea gardens call next. Darjeeling is steeped, literally, in tea and old world charm. The toy train rattles past terraced plantations while snow-shouldered peaks watch over everything. A sip here tastes like altitude and history. If the rhythm of rails and tea inspired you, imagine longer journeys, night trains that weave the heart of the country together. On a sleeper train, strangers become chapters in a moving book. Chai passes hands, children giggle, and landscapes unspool like film. This is where you meet real India. From shared compartments to shared breaths, some visitors seek deeper stillness, and Rishikesh gives it on the Ganges edge. Rishikesh is a place to untangle. Ashrams offer breathwork, the Ganges offers reflection, and evening aartis paint the river with light. It's both practice and pilgrimage. If you crave landscapes less traveled, a region of bridges, living roots and waterfalls waits far to the east, the northeast. Nagaland's drums, Meghalaya's living root bridges, Sikkim's monasteries. The northeast is a patchwork of tribes, cuisines, and landscapes that feel almost otherworldly. Each state is its own small nation, from tribal drums to bustling markets. Sometimes the best way to know India is to lose yourself in its noise, the bazaars that sell the country to you. Markets are where India smells loudest. Spices that sting the nose, flowers stacked like rainbows, street food sizzling on walks. Bargain, taste, and watch life unfold. If markets stir dreams and maps, remember that many of India's stories were made by kings, forts and palaces that still command attention. Forts rise from hills like memory cities, battlements, mirror halls, and courtyards where princely life played out. Each fort is a long chapter of love, war, and power. And finally, after kings and festivals, India celebrates. Its festivals are where the whole country throws its heart into colour and sound.
Holi splashes color across strangers. Diwali lights neighborhood altars. Durga Puja turns streets into stages. Festivals are India's pulse. They're noisy, messy, sacred, and irresistible. And when the drums fade and lanterns wink out, you realize India hasn't ended. It has only invited you to begin again.
India is not a checklist. It's a collection of moments that change the way you see the world. From dawn on the Ganges to festivals that color your soul. These 22 experiences are only the beginning. When will your story begin? Subscribe to The Invisible Explorer for more stories that stay with you long after the last frame.